Number 11, Danny White, would run the Cowboy offense. The Cowboy defense would do everything they could to make sure White did not have to make up any more than the 7 points that Dallas already trailed by. The Dallas D did all that could be expected. With the exception of one drive late in the game, the Cowboys permitted the Falcons a futile 28 yards in the second half. But then Atlanta really didn't need any points. They led 20-13, and if the tough Falcon defense could stop a Staubach-less Cowboy offense, Atlanta didn't need to gain another inch. Roland Lawrence intercepted White's first pass of the second half, and the Cowboys looked like they might have been in trouble. But another angle reveals that White's poor throw was caused by harsh pressure from Edgar Fields. Fields' near sack caused White's pass to Drew Pearson to be underthrown, and Lawrence intercepted. Lawrence and his defensive backmates are all excellent man-to-man defenders, and they have to be. Atlanta blitzes so often that they are frequently forced to go one-on-one. And they do it very well, covering the game's finest receivers with no help from linebackers, despite the fact that no one of Atlanta's defensive backs is over 5 feet 11 inches tall. Lawrence, number 22, is the best of Falcon protectors of the deep. And though the Cowboys kept trying to bomb the singled-up secondary, they could not explode or exploit Atlanta's defensive backs. Instead, White found success by rolling out to avoid Atlanta's blitzing linebackers and throwing short into their coverage areas. With these shorter passes, Dallas was taking advantage of Atlanta's blitz. On this play, right linebacker Greg Brazina, number 50, has blitzed, and White's pass goes directly at his vacated area. Laidlaw carried to the Atlanta 2, and from there, White again rolled out and kept right on rolling until tight end Jackie Smith got open. In the middle of the third period, White had led Dallas to a tie at 20. And on the Cowboys' next series, Staubach's stand-in had them rolling again. On this possession, White mixed in some Dorsett driving before again testing Atlanta's secondary with a 6-point shot. This one could have worked for Tony Hill was open, but White passed poorly, so Hill settled for a field goal. A 22-yard completion to Hill brought Dallas across midfield, where number 54, Fulton Kuykendall, blitzed, and White, as a last resort, dumped a safety valve to Dorsett. Dorsett carried to the Falcon 15, but upfield it was ruled that Kuykendall's blitz had succeeded. The pass came after White's knee touched down, and Dallas's drive was done. The Cowboys now began to take advantage of their ever-improving field position. White almost gave Atlanta the poorest of possible starting points, but though he had just the right backspin, he kicked the ball 6 inches too far, and an official was right on the spot to call the kick a touchback. Atlanta did not have to start from the 1. Starting from the 20 and after a 14-yard run, they felt more comfortable passing, but probably wished they had been forced to run. Aaron Kyle was a classic example of being in the right place at the right time, as he collected a pinball interception and returned it to the Atlanta 40. A look at the play from up top reveals that Bartkowski's pass to Alfred Jackson was overthrown. Cliff Harris kept the ball alive, and Kyle had an interception. Early in the fourth quarter, Dallas failed to capitalize on the turnover. But when Atlanta punter John James got off just a 10-yard punt from his own 20, Dallas was just 30 yards from the go-ahead score. Using Dorsett and Laidlaw exclusively, White moved the Cowboys toward the lead. A 1-yard dive by Laidlaw gave Dallas the lead 27-20 and gave the unheralded running back his second touchdown of the day. The Cowboys led by 7, but with 10 minutes to go in the game, there was certainly enough time for the late-game lightning Atlanta Falcons to score at least once. Perhaps because there was so much time left, Atlanta went nowhere on their next possession. But later it was time to search the skies for another miracle. After a penalty, this one would begin from 95 yards away. The magic was still there as Charlie Waters' interception came on a play when Dallas was called for a penalty. Still alive, the Falcons continued to move toward what they were sure was going to be the tying touchdown. A 20-yard completion to Francis and 29 yards on 4 running plays brought Atlanta to a 3rd and 10 on the Dallas 41. A great pass from Bartkowski to Francis gained 99% of the needed 10 yards. And what would be Atlanta's best chance came down to a 4th and inches at the Dallas 31. Another Atlanta courageous comeback would come down to a measurement to see if the Falcons would fly again. The Cowboys made sure the officials got all the help they needed in marking the spot. And when the chains came in, Atlanta had come up short. The Cowboys had stifled this Falcon chance, but Dallas could not run out the clock. And Atlanta got one more chance with 48 seconds left. But world champions do not allow late comebacks, no matter how good the story. And as number 43, Cliff Harris, dropped deep into the miracle zone, Dallas put Atlanta down for the final time. There would be no Garrison finish this time, but the game did have its Cinderella stories. Danny White, forced into emergency service when Roger Staubach was injured, had led the Cowboys to 2 second-half touchdowns and the victory. The second-string quarterback finally got the girl. But White was not the only story. Inspired by the loss of their leader, the Dallas defense completely shut down the opposition. Chances are, if the teams were still playing today, Atlanta would still have those same 20 points that were not enough, as Dallas came back to win 27-20 and end Atlanta's wild and crazy season. For Dallas, it's Los Angeles this week in the final step toward Super Bowl 13 and a chance to defend their title.
I can tell by the happy mood you're in, by that ever wild.
Offensive player of this game. At the end of the season, Mazda